We're just going to start planning it, going to deliver a great show. There's going to be moments of happiness, probably moments where we all feel a little bit sad. But yeah, I just want to do the Foo fans proud and Taylor proud as well.
Hello and welcome back to Foos Files, the podcast for fans of the Foo Fighters. How you all doing, everybody? It's Dan here, currently recording in the middle of a heat wave here in the UK. Record temperatures just in time for the Foo Fighters to arrive on British soil. But do you know what? Who cares? Sun, rain, shine, wind, snow, whatever. We're going to have a great time at Anfield this week, aren't we? Absolutely cannot wait. Can't believe it's come round so quickly. And yes, I know you folks listening in the US and Australia are probably laughing at us over here going, heat wave, that's nothing. We're used to that sort of stuff all the time. But do you know what? We really aren't used to it in this country. So just have a little bit of sympathy for us. But I don't care. As I say, the gigs this week are going to be absolutely brilliant. Roll on Saturday for me. Can't wait to be there. But more on the European tour a bit later in the show. We've got a few things to pack in this week. First of all, to coincide with the UK dates in Liverpool this week, we're going to speak to a Foo Fighters fan and radio host, Rhiannon Murray. So Rhiannon lives in North Wales, where she co-hosts a show called the Rock and Indie Takeover on Phoenix Radio Wales. And the reason we got talking was because next Friday, the 3rd of July, her and her co-host Paul are putting together a special show to honour Taylor Hawkins. So they're going to be playing all sorts of Foo Fighters and coattail riders and other stuff associated with Taylor's life and career, which is a great touch, and thought, do you know what, it's definitely worth getting her on the show to talk about it a little bit more. So that's exactly what we're going to do. And then after that, we're going to recap the Foo Fighters shows that have taken place over the past week. So we've had Munich and we've had Paris, the two standalone ones. Plus there was the festival show Pink Pop as well over in the Netherlands. But first of all, let's head over to my chat with Rhiannon from the Rock and Indie Takeover on Phoenix Radio Wales to hear more about what she's planning next week with a special radio show to honour the late, great Taylor Hawkins. It's always good to have another broadcaster or host on the show, and this week we've got Rhiannon, who's a presenter on Phoenix Radio Wales, and she's going to tell us about a very special show she's planning on Friday the 3rd of July. So first of all, do you want to just kick off by telling us about A, the station, and B, the show and its the general concept?
Yeah, of course. So we are a community-based radio show here in North Wales. Our show is called the Rock and Indie Takeover, and we only play rock and indie, and I play a lot of Foo Fighters. I have to get it in there every week. I do it sneakily sometimes, but my listeners like and love the Foo Fighters, so they don't obviously say anything about that. So, but yeah, we are the Rock and Indie Takeover. We are based in North Wales, and yeah, we thought after the concerts that are coming up at the European tour that we'd love to do a show remembering Taylor, because he was a massive part of the Foo Fighters, and he is missed dearly. So I thought it'd be a great idea to do 2 hours of just non-stop sort of Taylor-related music from Alanis Morissette, from the days he was the drummer with Alanis, coattail riders, obviously Foo Fighters. Taylor loved Queen. We're going to be playing Queen. So yeah, it's literally just 2 hours of just everything remembering Taylor and all his musical interests and loves. So yeah, we're looking forward to it, actually.
Yeah, great. So going back to the show itself in its its regular format then, so it's a like indie rock takeover. Is it kind of hits? Is it up and coming artists, or a bit of both? Or
Yeah, so what we actually do is, because my co-host actually is more into the indie side of it. And don't get me wrong, I love indie as well, but he has more knowledge on indie, whereas I'm more rock. For example, I love, like Led Zeppelin and things like that. So I like to play these sort of rock from older years, if you get what I mean. And he plays the indie, but we do actually have an introducing section where we are playing sort of up and coming bands. And we've had such a great response to that, especially over on social media, on the likes of TikTok. We've got so many bands and actually coming into the station as well to do interviews with us. And we just feel like it's important as well to nurture our local talent, because here in North Wales, we've got a really, really good sort of up and coming grassroots scene. Young lads fresh out of college creating these bands, and they sound fantastic and they're only really young. So we do highlight that as well, because we think that's really important. But so my co-host is more sort of the indie side of things, and I just love a little bit of rock.
Great. So you say you got to sneak the foos in there every week
Really every
somehow.
week, yeah. I do it somehow.
Yeah, so I suppose there's a fine line as well between going, oh, could I slip this like random album track in this week, or are the listeners going to go, what's this?
Yeah. So sometimes as well, I'll sneak a little bit of Nirvana in there, because Dave was the drummer in Nirvana, so I'll do that as well. So I always sort of manage to find a way of getting something in there. But luckily our listeners love Foo Fighters anyway, so I don't get pulled on that. But yeah, I do like to try and at least fit them in somehow.
Well, across the whole rock genre, there's plenty of stuff that Dave Grohl's appeared on that if you need any sort of tenuous connection, you don't have to go too far.
Queens of the Stone Age I played,
Yeah,
yeah. I
exactly.
played it sneakily. I also did Them Crooked Vultures I played a couple of weeks back, because obviously Dave was in that as well. So I try and sneak it in there somehow.
Yeah, get a bit of Tenacious D in there or something like that. Yeah.
I think he's linked to so many sort of side quests as well that you can actually do, and it's easily done. It's easy to do.
Yeah, great stuff. So the Taylor show then, because I originally saw you post about this on I think it was on one of the Facebook
Okay.
groups. I don't know if it was 606 or one of the others.
No, what, I'm in so many.
Yeah, me and you both. Yeah. So when did this kind of first? How long ago did you start thinking about this?
It's probably about a few months ago. Obviously, with all the excitement building of the Foos coming to Anfield next week. I can't believe that's come so quick. I just thought it'd be great. And I listen to a lot of radio myself, not only our station, but obviously sort of the mainstream, like the likes of Radio X and things. And they play Foo Fighters songs, obviously, but you don't ever hear a show that's predominantly sort of based specifically as that tribute, sort of highlighting Taylor's musical journey. Because again, like Dave, he had his hand in so many pots. He was in all sorts. He was in Chevy Metal. He was in Coattail Riders. And there's just so much music that he was involved in. And also, obviously, he loved to get up in the shows and sing a little bit of Queen. So there's just so much you can do with it. So many great songs. And I just thought it'd be a great idea because, with Taylor is missed by all us fans and obviously everyone that knew him. So I just thought it would be a great idea just to have something dedicated solely to him.
Yeah, and as you say, I think because Dave's all over the map with the various things that he's involved in, where not just music, TV and film and everything else that he's been involved in. I think a lot of people probably that all the stuff Taylor did too was really, really under the radar.
Yeah.
And I think you can go through his catalogue. I think there's 3 Coattail Riders albums. There's that.
I've got a couple on vinyl, but do you know what? I can't remember the actual names of the albums, but there's so much stuff that he did. You're right, and there's a whole slog.
Yeah, like the Birds of Satan stuff and the NHC
Yeah.
singles and EP. So and then there's particular Foos stuff that you
I'm obviously going to play Aurora.
Yeah, but
that's got to be in there.
Yeah, exactly. And you got Cold Day in the Sun, which is him.
Yeah.
But so it's going to be 2 hours devoted to band member,
Mm.
it would be hard going for a lot of acts to do this. But I think you probably have more of a struggle kind of cutting it down to what you end up leaving out.
Yeah, because we usually play. So our show is a 2-hour slot, and we play a lot of music. We don't do news or anything in that shows. We are music fans first and foremost, and our shows are predominantly all about the music and sharing our music with our audience and our listeners. And we average about 30 tracks per show. So out of all the whole catalogue of even the Foo Fighters and how many albums they've got, it is going to be difficult to just handpick probably that amount. But we will do it, and I'll make sure that every song is meaningful and such a tribute to Taylor. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and as you said, you kind of piecing together those influences as well. You've got like Queen and
Start from the beginning. Yeah, yeah.
Queen, Rush, bands like that.
Oh, Taylor loved Rush, didn't he? He
Yeah,
loved Rush.
yeah. I just always
James
think of
Addiction. Yeah, he
Jane's
loved James
Addiction.
Addiction. You
Yeah,
don't.
yeah,
It just pops into your mind as well. So there's just like, oh, I'm just going to have so much fun, even though it's not a sad thing really, because we are sort of celebrating Taylor's life and his musical things, and there is bound to be the odd one or two songs that you just give you a bit of a lump in the throat. Aurora for me does it every time. Every time I hear that song, I was really lucky to get tickets to the tribute shows, after Taylor passed. So I was at Wembley, and it was just sort of at the start of the show when they sort of had that montage of Taylor played to Aurora. It was just such a sad minute, a sad moment. I think all of us fans that were there really felt like, oh my gosh, can't believe it's happened. Yeah, so sad.
yeah. Absolutely goes without saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. So I guess you got couple of weeks to go till this show, then you're still
Mhm.
kind of piecing it together. How's your I guess you say your co-host, he's more of a kind of an indie
Yeah.
guy. You had to sort of educate him a little bit on this, or
Well,
is he kind of,
in all fairness, he does like the Foo Fighters. I wouldn't say he's as big of a fan as I am. I did drag him to the concerts. When was it? Not last year, year before, wasn't it? I went to see him in Old Trafford. So I actually went twice. I think it was like the 13th of June. I went again on the 15th. So on the 15th, I did drag him along. I mean, he had a great time. He loves Foo Fighters, but his knowledge, and obviously he's not a fan, if that makes sense. Not a hardcore fan.
No, it's
So,
great. It's a brilliant idea, and I'm looking forward to hearing about how it all comes together and what surprises you kind of sneak in there, really, because there's so much. I mean, even just thinking about when you mentioned the tribute concert there,
yeah,
sort of the cogs started going in my brain about all the artists that were there, and like Stuart
so
Copeland from
many.
the Police, and he was a
Yeah,
huge fan of the Police, and then you sort of I'd forgotten
yeah,
about yeah, Jane's Addiction when you mentioned them. You could go off in so many different directions with this. So,
yeah.
uh, I mean, I guess it's got an online presence, the station. So anybody hearing this, we've got a lot of listeners, not just around the UK, but in America and Australia. If they wanted to check it out, they'd be able to, I guess, get online to listen to it.
Yeah, for sure. We do have a lot of international listeners. Yeah, we do have a lot of listeners from America, like you say, in Australia. You can listen to it online. It's quite easy to do on the website. There's like a little live chat button at the end, or alternatively, you can stream it on like Alexa. So it is easy to stream. Our TikTok page is fast growing. We're getting so many followers on that, so that's really picking up. So if anyone wanted to keep up with what we're doing, TikTok probably is the main platform that we use. So yeah, we're just going to start planning it, going to deliver a great show. There's going to be moments of happiness, probably moments where we all feel a little bit sad, but yeah, I just want to do, the Foo fans proud, and Taylor proud as well.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. Well, yeah, best of luck with it. While we've got you then, just kind of go back a few steps, and when I speak to people, like to get their Foo Fighters fan story, I guess, really. So where did it all start for you?
Do you know, so I've always known about the Foo Fighters and I've always enjoyed their music, but I don't think I became sort of a fan probably till about 2018, I would say. And it's gutting because I'd actually never seen the Foo Fighters with Taylor on drums. And I'm always gutted about it because there was so many times that I wanted to go and like there was logistical problems. I couldn't get here for whatever reason. I couldn't go or, things like that. And I never managed to get to see, Taylor play on the drums. And that's had an effect on me actually, because I go to so many concerts now because I regret that so much. I wish that all those, I could have just made it there, got to see Taylor. So now I'm a bit of a concert junkie. I'm always at a concert. So that's definitely been positive for me. So I always make the effort now to go to concerts because you never know what's around the corner. And that's a big regret for me, for sure. Never actually seeing Taylor in the flesh on the drums. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's completely understandable. So what was it about 2018, that period? What kind of turned you into a
I
big
don't know. I have no clue. I just started to listen to them more. I mean, I'd always listened to them and always loved Foo Fighters, but sort of listen to them, actually listen to all the old albums, all the track, sort of get obsessively, if you like, sort of enjoying them in that way. So I don't know what it was. It was just one day I decided to listen to all, not just because obviously you've got the popular songs that everyone knows that you hear on the radio, that, All My Life, My Hero. But it's actually when you start digging deep and going through the albums, that there's so many that you don't even hear of in mainstream, and there's just so many brilliant songs. I just started listening to him all the time. Also, I had a bit of a crush on Taylor. I used to joke to everyone that he was my husband in a different life. So, I just thought his stage presence, it was so captivating to watch, especially when, the banter between him and Dave. There's that one video where Dave loses his voice. I don't know if you've seen it. And sort of Taylor jumps in as he's playing the drums and carries on, it's just, and that sort of drew me, like watching things like that. And I just fell in love with the band, fell in love with Taylor, fell in love with them all really. So yeah.
I think that's the biggest. Josh did a great job on the last tour, and
I liked him. Yeah.
yeah, and Ilan's slotted in absolutely brilliantly. I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't seen him yet, but by all accounts from everyone who's seen them over the past like 9 months and whatever, and I've watched all the clips. He seems to be an amazing fit. But the real miss really from the concerts now is Dave and Taylor doing that, the chemistry between them, especially when they swap over and Taylor comes up and does his kind of Queen moment or whatever, or even just doing one of his crazy drum solos when they do the band introductions. That is the real where the loss is really felt.
Yeah.
But
And definitely, and I think when I heard the news myself, like I think everyone was I think when I found out obviously that Taylor had passed I think I'd scrolled on Facebook and seen like this official announcement, and I was just like, wait, what? Like I think everyone was just in disbelief at what had happened, because I think I'd only been watching videos of him I think he was in Colombia, was it? With the little girl that had set her drum set up outside the hotel. And, and then just to think he was gone just like that, it was a shock to everyone, really. But yeah, it's sad. Sad. But yeah, you do miss that sort of camaraderie on stage. And I think when I did go and see him a couple of years back with Josh, I think there was just that anxiousness really, like, is it going to be the same? But it's never going to be the same. And in all honesty, I don't think anyone knew that whether they were going to carry on. I thought it was going to be another Zeppelin, to be honest, when they lost Bonzo. I thought that I didn't know if they could carry on without him, but they have done, in all fairness, and that's great for us fans. And yeah, I like Joss, and I'm sure we'll always like the drummer of Foo Fighters, but yeah, and no one can replace the sort of the chemistry and the energy that Taylor brought to the concert. So yeah, it's a huge miss.
I think that's it, and I think it's we all knew it was never going to be the same, but I think we're just grateful that they've come out the other side and they're carried on, and their shows are still absolutely incredible. They'll always honour him, and I mean, I went on the last tour. I saw them here in Birmingham, but we also decided to go to Boston and make a bit of a trip of it, and you just kind of went, I'm gonna a bit like you said, going to make the most out of this now, and appreciate them while the fact that they're still going, and as you say, not just Foos, but all your other favourite bands, because you hit a certain age, and you always think of bands that you've grown up with. I don't know, you don't feel they grow up the same way as you do in a way, and then
We
suddenly
forget Dave's really old, actually. You know, to be fair to him, he's still going.
And then you get a sudden like lightning bolt moment where you go, actually, these guys are getting all the bands I grew up with. They're getting on a bit now. They're nearly in their 60s. Some of them, and you're like, whoa. So you got to, especially while they're going great guns, you've got to make the most of it and get out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, great stuff. So Anfield, then, what are you looking forward to most about that?
Everything. What's to say? I love the atmosphere at the Foo concerts. For me, I mean, I do concerts all the time, and I don't think out of all the crowds that I've ever been in, I think the Foo crowd has got to be one of the best for sure. I'm not just saying that. I think it is the atmosphere, and I just, the music. I literally don't stop singing from the minute he starts until the end. Just everything, the atmosphere. Yeah, I just can't wait. Excited. It feels like it's been too long. It's been 2 years since I've seen him last, and it already feels too long. So yeah, excited. It'll be a great day.
Yeah,
Great.
I mean, you're there on the Thursday. I'm there on the Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, looking what they've been doing. I don't know if you're one of these people who looks at spoilers or anything, but
all the time.
Yeah, looking at the European dates so far, we're in for an absolute treat by the different bits they've been putting into the set. So yeah, really, really excited. Really,
I was tempted to go to Paris actually, but I thought no, I'll wait till I was feeling a little bit couldn't wait. So yeah, we're in for a great show. It's always a great show. So yeah, excited.
Yeah, great stuff. Well, best of luck with the show, and also have a great time at Anfield too.
And you?
That's cool. Taylor?
Yes, David?
Okay. You could do the thing, or you could do the other thing. Okay, hold on. He's gonna do the thing. No, he's not gonna do the thing. He's gonna do the other thing. Do the other thing.
Love of my life, you hurt me, stolen my heart, now you leave me. Love of my life, can't you see? Bring it back, don't take it away from me, because you don't know.
So that was Rhiannon Murray from the Rock and Indie Takeover on Phoenix Radio Wales to tell us about her special show next Friday, the 3rd of July, to honour the late great Foo Fighters drummer Taylor Hawkins. If you want to find out more information about the show itself, you can follow the Rock and Indie Takeover on both TikTok and Facebook. And then the station that is going to be broadcasting the show, Phoenix Radio Wales, go to www.phoenixradiowales.com. You can find the schedules, where to listen, all that kind of information. And yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a brilliant, really poignant and emotional show. Hopefully a lot of members of the Foo community will tune in to show Rhiannon and her co-host Paul some support. And it really is a great initiative to honour Taylor, so best of luck to them. Now back onto the Take Cover Tour European leg, because 3 shows have taken place since the last episode, or certainly 3 that we haven't covered off yet on the podcast. And as always, we've got roving reporters, if you like, on the ground at the shows. Well, for 2 of them anyway. So we had the Munich show at the Allianz Arena, big stadium gig over there. The big talking points, well, Window was played at that one, so the new songs seem to be interchangeable at these standalone shows, and so Hey Johnny Park was back on the subs bench for this one. Window came in. Then there was also the Paris gig, which was a rare indoor show for the band over here in Europe. More of the same really, but the big talking point was For All the Cows off the debut album was played for the first time since 2021. We're going to hear from 2 of our regular listeners in a minute, Nicholas Spahn and Kim Hearn, about the Munich and Paris shows. The one I haven't gone into too much detail about was the Pink Pop Festival show that they played over the weekend. And really because it was a bit of a bog standard festival set, which bizarrely they didn't play a single song from the new album, Your Favourite Toy. So answers on a postcard as to why, really don't know. So there weren't really any key talking points from that one, but festival shows are festival shows. They're always a bit, you kind of know what to expect, don't you? Greatest hits, shortened sets, a bit less time to do all the bells and whistles of a typical show. So that's where we're at with that one. But back onto Munich and Paris, which sounded like great experiences in their own right. So first of all, going to bring in long-time listener Nicholas Spahn, born and raised in Munster, Germany, who travelled across the country to go and see the band in Munich. And then from Germany, we hop over to Paris to catch up with our good friend Kim Hearn, who made the short journey from the UK over to the French capital to see the Foo Fighters at the Paris La Défense Arena. Well, it's a short trip by her standards anyway, given all the thousands of miles she's travelled to follow the band. So let's hear all about the latest Foo Fighters shows on the European leg of the Takeover tour.
Hey Dan, it's Nicholas. I was at the Munich Foo Fighters show. Just came back from the trip. It was quite an adventurous one since it wasn't planned far ahead. Actually, I was I had plans to go to Sweden for the Stockholm show and also to Paris. But for various reasons, those plans fell into pieces. Luckily, I had a couple of days off, went to my parents' place in Germany and figured out that the Foo Fighters gig in Munich fits into my schedule. So I took a very early 6 a.m. train from the northern west part of Germany and drove all the way down south to Munich, checked in at the hotel, went to the arena, pretty nice, big stadium, first time being there. And enjoyed the vibe. Everyone was enjoying the weather, having a drink before, some German sausage, of course, enjoying the hot weather, I said, and also the support act, Otto Bokebeaver, was, delivering quite a lot of energy, and it was interesting to see Asian or Japanese punk, because it's not something that you experience very often over here in Europe, and also Inhaler. They had a pretty nice vibe. It was nice to listen to, and bridging the gap until the big act came on stage. And, well, they delivered. They just, Dave ran up all the way to the end of the catwalk, looking over the crowd, enjoying the stadium, and then it was 3 hours straight rock and roll, just what you want and what you expect, maybe also from a gig like that, and what you love from the Foo Fighters. Also, the big stage, I think it fits really well to the show. It's more lights and videos than maybe on the previous tours, but also it's not distracting, and that's what I like the most, because all these pyrotechniques and stuff that other artists might do is not necessarily my type of thing. So that's why I love Foo Fighters even more, and it fits really well. It's a great show, really enjoyable. Everyone also was singing along from moment one. They played 45 minutes until Dave actually had the time to say hello. So it was hit after hit after hit after hit, and then also a couple of new ones. I think we got Window, Your Favorite Toy, and also Caught in the Echo in the end. I loved hearing Marigold, finally. It's a song that somehow got into my play-along guitar playlist. I don't even know how, but it's quite a deep cut, so I'm really happy to that they bring this one back on the set list for this tour. And yeah, it was great. Worth every meter traveling. Worth quite some nights without sleep, or without catching a lot of sleep at least. And now I'm already looking forward to the gig in Italy, in Milan. That's where I won't go by myself, finally be joined by friends again, and yeah, have a great time, probably again. So yeah, made it to one so far, a second one coming, and yeah, really looking forward to it. Also enjoying your podcast. Keep up the good work. It was nice to already hear all the stories from the people that went to Stockholm and Oslo and Warsaw, and it's really creating a great community. I love that.
Now, you might know that over the years, we've made a lot of rock songs. We've also made acoustic songs. So we thought tonight we'd come out here and play some songs up close in your face that you might know. Now this song, we always joke. There's only one place in the world that this song is famous. Well, I don't want to say famous, but there's only one place in the world where people really know this song. And it's Germany. The rest of the world doesn't really know this song.
Bonjour. This is Kim, and I've just got back from Paris, was seeing the Foos there, and this is my report. We had a great day, caught up with lots of friends. It was nice to see quite a lot of Brits attending the show. That was partly because either they couldn't get tickets for Liverpool, or it was probably actually a little bit cheaper to go to Paris for some people, depending on where they lived. But everybody had a great time and built some touristy time around the show as well. So it's always fun to do a gig trip. So the day on Friday started off quite early, and we got into the main queue, but some of us had bought these security fast passes. We weren't exactly sure what that might entail. We knew that it would be a shorter line, but it turned out that we were in a separate queue, and then also they did actually process us first. So did tickets, the priority ticket, then the bag search, and then they took us 2 by 2 into the queue for the turnstiles, and that actually was front of queue. They actually got through the people who bought the tickets quite quickly, and then it wasn't far behind that they brought the main queue down. Again, very organised, and then everybody lined up 2 by 2, and then we went through the turnstiles. There was no barging, there was no stress. Absolutely amazing. And then once inside, again, we lined up and they walked us down to the stage. And then as people came in around the stage, you could duck out wherever you wanted to stand. So most of us, we got the corner bit between Shifty and the runway. Our friends in the main queue, I mean, they got rail, and also one was standing behind us. So that was very well organised. Thankfully, it was an enclosed arena with aircon, because we had a 3.5 hour wait then for Foos to come on. But it seemed to go quite quickly, and obviously we watched the 2 support bands for that night. And then Foos came on at 8:30, and crowd just went wild. The arena filled up really quickly when the gates opened. I mean, within a couple of minutes, I couldn't see any space behind me. I mean, it was all just chock-a-block, so there was no getting out for anything. Anyway, the guys came on, and as always, fantastic show. Dave was on form. And then really The only other thing to mention was the new stage setup. I felt that the new lights and the way the stage is done, because it's quite high now and the runway's a lot higher than it was in 24. I think because the end now has to, it's got the band equipment in there for the end of stage acoustic bit, and the new lights, it kind of feels like it's built for a stadium and for the people around the stadium to enjoy. I mean, my rail experience was fine. I was in a good spot, and I could see everybody apart from Ilan, who had a symbol across his face. So every now and again, I had to take a photo when he hit that, so it dipped down. But the new lighting is good. I have to say, quite photo friendly. There is, we tried to count out the number of bulbs. I think it was like 500 or something, which is pretty awesome. And the screens are big, so it's nice for the people at the back. There are the banding that goes across the guys' faces, so I don't know how that is for the people sitting at the back. Yeah, so it was a very good show, very good experience. I like the new band intros. They're quite fun. Nice to see them do a little bit of their old stuff. And then, of course, the little bit of a highlight for me was actually where Dave and Ilan swap roles, and I finally get to see Dave close up on the drums, which I've never done. I mean, obviously, I saw him at previous shows, but I was always seated, so way back. And Ilan on the guitar is great. You can shred. So we enjoyed that. And the obviously the new acoustic bit down the end of the stage, but because I was up near the corner, couldn't really get to fully appreciate that. Although I did spy the 2 French sticks that were in Ilan's drumstick case, which was quite funny. I was a bit disappointed that you didn't actually get them out and play with them, but play the drums with them. But that was quite funny, obviously. Oh, and then Rami had one on his keyboard as well. So maybe the tech crew were having a bit of a laugh there. But that was quite fun. So yeah, so I hope at another show I'll maybe move a bit further down the runway to fully appreciate the acoustic part. Although the stage is so high, I'm not sure how little short me will get on with that, but we'll see. I did go for a wander around after the show and sort of give it a test. And then the only other thing to mention was maybe the set list. So it's a good set list. I was a little bit disappointed that we only got 2 songs from the new album, which was Your Favourite Toy and Echoes. I was hoping to hear some of the others. And of course, everybody wants to hear Asking for a Friend. And I'd love to hear that again. I was one of the lucky ones who got to hear it on its one and only outing so far, but I do hope they will play it at some stage. But we did get For All the Cows, which is a very rarity. I did have that on my first show in Melbourne back in 2018, so it was nice to hear that again. And so that's probably wraps it up for now. To try and keep it short and sweet. So we look forward to Liverpool now. Don't know if we're all looking forward to the heat, but we'll see how we go. And it'll be interesting to see how much they mix the set list up between the 2 nights. So I'll see everybody in Liverpool, and if you see me, come and say hello.
So there you have it. If ever you're struggling to pass the time while waiting for the Foo Fighters to come on stage, you can always attempt to count the number of bulbs in the lighting rig. But in all seriousness, great stuff from Nicholas and Kim. Thanks to both of them for your support for the podcast, as always. Long-time listeners and brilliant contributors as well. So I guess that's it for this week. All roads point to Liverpool. Cannot wait. If you're going either on Thursday or on Saturday, stay cool, have a great time. And in particular, if you're around on Saturday, yours truly will be kicking around. Drop us a message. It'd be great to meet up. Looking to interview and speak to plenty of fans as well while I'm there, hopefully. It's going to be a great day. Thanks, as always, for listening to Foos Files. Don't forget to hit the follow or subscribe button on your favourite podcast app to make sure you never miss an episode. And also give us a follow on the socials at foosfilespod on Instagram. We're on Threads. Also trying to do a little bit more TikTok too. Really need to get my act together on that one. In the meantime, enjoy Anfield. See you there. And if you're not going, we'll talk about it to death next week. See you then.